everybody, and welcome to day 162 of Rhys Stories. And today I am going to be reading you Rumpelstiltskin, which I got in the Irish Daily Mail sometime. And it's a pity I didn't get all the collection out of the 6. So let's get moving. A miller once wanted to impress the king, and so he told him a lie. "I have a daughter who can spin straw into gold," he said. The king's eyes opened round like coins. "Is that so?" he asked. The man nodded dumbly. He was very happy to have impressed the king, and even showed him a picture of his daughter. The king snatched this from his hands and waved it above his head, crying to his guards in a shrill voice, "Bring her to me at once." The father became worried. The daughter was whisked from home, brought to the castle, and locked in a small room filled with straw. "What am I doing here?" she thought, sitting down on a spinning wheel. "And what's this thing?" Just then a rough voice sounded through the door. "The king says you must spin all that straw into gold by morning," boomed the voice, "or your father will be branded a liar and banished forever from the land." "Oh dear," whispered the girl. She then began to cry. She knew that people had tried for centuries to create gold from all types of things, but that they had always failed. Looking at the straw and twirling the wheel, she wondered aloud, "So how can I make gold from straw?" "What's that?" came a little voice around the door. It was an impish man in a striped hat. "I'll spin that straw into gold for you," he squeaked. "But if I do, I want your necklace as payment." "Brilliant!" exclaimed the girl. The little man sat down and spun the straw. Each great handful he turned into gold coils, which the girl stacked around the room for the rest of the night. The next morning, he took the girl's necklace and left. "What a strange man," she thought, "to want my necklace, when he could so easily make his own gold." When the king came to inspect the girl's work, his eyes grew as big as medallions. "Wonderful!" he shrieked more. The girl was immediately bundled into another room, this one much larger and heaving with straw. "Same deal," said the guard as he locked the door and left her alone. Once more. "Hello again," came the little voice from over her shoulder. Then they made another agreement, and after he had spun every last bit of straw into glimmering golden stacks, he pointed at her finger. "I'll take that now, please." "A deal is a deal," said the girl, slipping off her ring and handing it to him. The imp slipped away by the light of dawn. Well, the king's eyes nearly fell out of his head. "Spectacular!" he bellowed. He then looked at the girl and whispered to a guard. She was then whisked away, this time into the castle's great hall, where straw was stacked from floor to ceiling. "If you spin all the straw into gold," explained the guard, "the king says you can go free. And if you like, marry his freedom, the girl also quite fancied the prince. But more than anything, she wished for her father to be safe. The little man appeared again. "Whatever your prince, I will agree," said the girl. "I want your firstborn child, Level the imp." The girl wasn't planning to have children anytime soon, and so she thrust one hand forward and the deal was made. The other hand she kept behind her back, fingers crossed as insurance. That night, the little man toiled until nothing but gold remained. Just before sunrise, he tipped his hat and sang at pleasure doing business. Upon entering the chamber, the king could barely speak, and before he had the chance to, the prince quickly introduced himself to the girl, and they went for a stroll. "Let's go see my father," she said. They had a lovely afternoon, and not long afterwards were in love and got married in the very same great hall where the girl had struck her last deal with the imp. The young couple had a happy life and were soon blessed with the birth of a baby boy, whom they utterly adored. Quite content as a new mother, the girl barely remembered her time locked away with the spinning wheel, but one morning as she lay in bed thinking of baby names, a small familiar voice chirped from the window. "Toodle-doo." It was that little man, and only then did she remember their deal. "I have come to collect my payment," he said, reaching for the baby. "Wait a moment," said the girl. She recalled how strange the man was. He had spent 3 nights spinning untold amounts of precious gold for a mere ring and necklace. "Let yous make a game of it," she challenged. "How might I keep my son?" "A game," replied the little man with a smirk. They agreed if the girl could guess the man's name, she would keep her son. "You have 3 days," said the imp, "and I assure, just as you couldn't spin that straw into gold, you won't guess my name." The clever princess sent scouts throughout the kingdom to gather every known name. These names were then written on scrolls, which she read to the man over the next 2 days. "Baptizer?" she asked. "No," said the man. "John, Joe? No. Jim, Jack? No. Jerry? No. Engelbert? No. Wingelbert? No. Zangelbert? No." On the second evening, the little man laughed as he left, saying, "Tomorrow then." That night the princess received wonderful news. One of her scouts had found the little man's home, hidden deep in the woods. "I heard him sing his name," the scout shouted. He danced around the fire, and this is what he sang. "Tonight I dance, tonight I sing. Tomorrow does a baby bring. She will lose and I will win, or my name's not Rumpelstiltskin. The princess was overjoyed. She hugged her baby and waited eagerly for the sun to rise. The little man arrived early. "Take all if you like," he said smoothly. Now, she's just pretending to not know the name, because what she's going to say a different name, because I've read this story before. "Is your name Wayne?" she asked. "Nope," smiled the man. See, she's tricking him. "Is your name Short Ribs?" she asked. "No," he giggled, settling into a chair and closing his eyes. "I told you she's joking him." "Is your name—" Her voice began to rise into a celebratory howl. "Rumpelstiltskin." "Yes!" he exclaimed, jumping from his chair. Then he very angrily began to stamp his feet. "Who told you?" "Someone told you." He stamped 3 more times, and a great hole appeared in the floor which swallowed him up. Thankfully for the princess and her family, this was the very last time she ever saw Rumpelstiltskin. The end. I hope you enjoyed that lovely story. And I told you she was tricking him for the last few names. So I better go now, and I guess I will see you all tomorrow for day 163. And yes, I guess I will see you all tomorrow, and I'm going relaxing now. Bye, after reading that.